This is the cell, and inside is a mitochondrion. Inside the mitochondrion, the squiggly thing is a matrix. Glycolysis.
Yes.
Glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm of a cell.
Alright guys, so in the preparatory stage we have a glucose with 6 carbons, as you can see there. Then we have an ATP that comes in and adds on a phosphate onto the carbons. Alright, this process repeats again until there are 2 phosphates on the carbons. This causes the carbons to become unstable and split into 2 molecules called G3P. Boom. Now the G3P gets oxidized in this stage because an NAD plus comes in and takes away their hydrogen and their electron. And a phosphate gets added to the G3P. Both of them. After that, another ADP comes in and takes away one of the phosphates to become ATP, which produces 2 more ATP to make it PGA. After that happens, both of these PGAs then get another ADP that comes in and takes away the phosphate, so they are left with only 3 carbons. That creates a total net of 2 ATP, and this 3 carbon compound is called pyruvic acid or pyruvate. These 2 pyruvate can make lactate or lactic acid if another ADP comes in and takes away another phosphate.
Krebs prep. In this process, we will start out with the 3-carbon pyruvic acid, or pyruvate. We will add CoA, giving us CO2, which is 1 carbon, and it'll take away a carbon from the pyruvate. And on the other side, we will do NAD plus an electron and hydrogen, making an NADH, and that'll give us acetyl-CoA. Now, we are ready for Krebs.
Yay!
Krebs cycle. First, we will start out with our 2-carbon acetyl-CoA, which will be combined with oxaloacetate, making citrate, which is a 6-carbon compound. Got that? And H2O will be added, making isocitrate, still 6 carbons. From isocitrate, we will be passed down, and carbon dioxide will be removed, and NAD positive will get reduced. Added an electron and hydrogen, making NADH, which will result in alpha-ketoglutarate, which is a 5-carbon compound. From alpha-ketoglutarate, we will take away another carbon dioxide and add another NAD plus H plus electrons, making NADH, and we will end up with succinyl-CoA, or succinate, which is 4 carbons, because we took them out, giving them to carbon dioxide. From that, we will be result of GDP, which makes ADP and ATP, and from the succinate, we will be taking an FAD and converting it to FADH2, which will result in a fumarate, which is a 4-carbon compound. We'll add H2O, giving us malate, also a 4-carbon compound, and we will add another NAD positive plus hydrogen plus electron, giving us NADH, and back to oxaloacetate, which is 4 carbons, and the cycle repeats because we're adding acetyl-CoA again.
Here we see the membrane of a mitochondria being drawn here.
On the bottom is the matrix, and on the top is the intermembrane space.
Electron transport chain. In the cell membrane, there is multiple cytochromes that act as protein pumps for hydrogen being pushed into the membrane space. You can see all our hydrogens up top. Over on the far right, you can see our ATP synthase, which will be used later on in the cycle. This whole thing is called the electron transport chain, or ETC for short. So we have the NADH and the FADH coming from the Krebs cycle and dropping off their extra hydrogen and then leaving. So the hydrogen can go through and produce ATP. Some of the hydrogen will go through mobile electron carriers and become H2O in the matrix of the mitochondria. The remaining hydrogens in the intermembrane space will then go through the ATP synthase, which allows it to spin and produce more ATP, which then goes back into the matrix of the cell.
Here we are drawing the table to show how much total ATP we gain from all this. So here we are labeling the graph. We have NADH, which is worth 3, FADH, which is worth 2 ATP, and ATP, which is obviously worth 1 ATP. In glycolysis, we have 8 ATP. In Krebs prep, we have 6, and in Krebs, we have 24 ATP. If you add all those up, you're going to get yourself a total of 38 ATP.
On a good day.
On a good day. This will never actually happen unless circumstances are perfect.
And
Thanks for watching. Subscribe.
Steroids.